Hi everybody, it's Angelique coming to you live from my studio in Las Vegas. How are you all doing today? Are you ready? Are you ready to paint? And we're painting and we're drawing today. It is not pre-traced, but relax, relax, relax. I'm going to take you 50-60% through this painting and you're going to be able to finish it on your own, okay? So are you ready? Take a deep breath. Relax. Another one. And relax. Now let's go over our tools. First of all, I hope you have your phone handy so you can take pictures as you go along because you're going to be shocked and amazed at your progress, okay? We're going to need a pencil to get today, so make sure you have one. Make sure you have all your brushes. You need the sponge brush, looks like this. You need a flat brush that looks like this. You need your detail brush that looks like this, okay? And you're going to need a cup of water, half full or half empty, depending on how you view the world. But mine is half full. Look at mine. Mine is over half full because that's how I view the world. And also, you need your paints, of course. We have pink or magenta, this color right here. 5 colors. We have bright green. We have bright blue, and then we have black and we have white, okay? Hopefully you have some snacks or a drink or something like that. That always makes painting a little bit more fun for me. I'm in Vegas, right, but I have this turtleneck on because it's cold today, and I'm also drinking coffee. And look at me, that's my logo, Paint with Angelique. Okay, let's get into the drawing. We're doing a simple flower drawing that I dropped on the floor. So let me pick it up real quick so you can see it. We are live and we do not edit, so there's no telling what might happen. My dogs might come in and out, but that's okay, right? All right, so we're painting this little simple painting like this. Very simple. So let's get into it. First, I like to tell you what we're going to do, right? How we're going to do the painting. We're going to draw the vase. Then we're going to place the flowers. Then we're going to draw like the little table base of the painting. And then we're going to paint the background like we always do. Paint the blue vase and paint the flowers in. Put the foliage in there, the leaves, the leaves in there, and some highlights, and that's a wrap. Of course, you can do this any way you want. I always like to tell people this is art. So have fun with it. If you want to do something different to the vase or design your flowers differently, these look like kind of like carnations. So if you want to make tulips or roses, totally up to you, but don't ask me how to do it. We're going to paint real close to the painting that I just showed you, okay? Hopefully you have a reference photo too. If you don't, I'm sure I have the painting somewhere that you can see the finished painting. Or take a screenshot. That's always a good idea too. Okay, let's get into it. We are going to draw first. Look, I was already ready to paint. We're going to draw first. So get your pencil. All right. So remember, this is the painting right here. Looks a little something like this. So I can't put it up there. So I'm looking at it. Hopefully you're able to look at it too. I'm going to draw the vase first. So I want the vase to be in the middle. So I'm going to draw 2 lines in the middle. And it's about halfway down my canvas. So this is going to be the top part of my vase, which is about halfway of the canvas, right? I'm going to come down to about, I don't know, maybe 3 fingers down. 3 fingers down. Maybe an inch. Ooh, you can't see that too well on there. But I'll show you what it looks like. So a line right here, about halfway down the canvas, and then 2 lines like this is going to be my vase. You could do a large rectangle. Basically, that's what that looks like. See that? Nothing fancy, right? So my ring light is like washing it out. So I'm going to hold it every time I draw something. I'm going to hold it up like that. You can curve the bottoms if you want, or if you're really not comfortable drawing, just leave it a square. It's fine. Then I'm going to go a little bit, maybe about an inch up from the bottom of, no, not that far. About a half an inch from the bottom of the vase. And I'll make that my tabletop. You with me? I hope so. So it's going to look a little bit like that. Got it? And then I got to figure out where I want to place my flowers. And in the reference photo, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flowers. So I know I want one right here. And I want one right here. So I'm going to put one right here that kind of connects them. I'm going to put another one right here. I'm going to put one right there. That's 5. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to put a little one here and a little one there. All right? Look pretty simple? Looks pretty simple to me. Let's put it a little bit over here maybe. Maybe I think my light is washing it out, so I want you to be able to see it a little better. Ooh, that's better. Look how smart I am. Yep, not better there. Spoke too soon. All right, let me move this up a little bit because I want you to be able to see. All right, that's good. So now we're going to paint the background. And if I'm going too fast, maybe watch the complete video first and then maybe paint. That's one idea. But when we're finished, I'm going to let you know how to find this YouTube, right? So that you can watch this over again. All right, perfect, perfect shot, perfect. All right. So I am making light blue. So how are we going to, for the background, how are we going to make light blue? We're going to put a little bit of white and a little bit of blue in our tray. So hopefully your white pours out easily like that. If it doesn't, you might have to use the back of your brush, okay? And then I'm going to scoop out a little blue. Mine is really thick here. And I don't want to use the back of my brush because I'm a messy painter. So I just tapped it on there and got some blue out. And I'm going to take a little tiny bit of, with my sponge brush, a little tiny bit of blue and mix it with that white. I just want it to be really light. I want a really light background. Maybe you want a really dark one, but I want mine to be really light. So I'm mixing it in my tray. And I'm going to paint. We can outline it first. And then I'm going to paint around my vase. Painting in the background. And if you don't feel like you have enough paint on your sponge brush, you probably do. You just have to press down a little bit. Kind of rub it into the canvas. If you like the light blue effect. Maybe yours is a little darker. And I am coming close to the flowers, kind of covering the flowers a little bit, but I'm okay with that. I'm out of blue paint already. So hope you made more than I did. Because it's hard to get the same level of blue again. But you don't have to. That's a little bit darker. And I'm okay with that. So I'm just filling the back. I'm also painting the sides of my canvas, okay? That's so you will not need a frame for your masterpiece. So make sure you paint the sides. You can paint the top and the bottom if you want to, but I never really paint the top and the bottom, but I always paint the sides. All right, so my ring light is washing out my painting, so I'm going to adjust my lighting just a little bit. Should give you enough time to do the background in there, okay? So continue to paint your blue while I adjust my lighting a little bit. Hopefully I don't knock anything over. Hopefully that makes it a little bit better. I think it does. All right. So, all right, my background is blue. So, funny thing, I forgot to tell you, we need brown too. Hopefully you figure that out. So, what we're going to do with the brown, well, actually, let's just stick with blue. Let's keep going blue. Let's paint the vase. So we're all done with the sponge brush. Do not rest the sponge brush in your water. Rest it on your tray, okay? I'm going to go in my blue paint with my flat tip brush. I'm going to put a little blue paint on it. And I'm going to paint my vase by outlining it first and painting it in. And when you're painting this in, you can actually change the shape of your vase if you want to get fancy with it and make it a little rounded on the edges, like on the bottom part. Or maybe you're going to really change the shape of it and do something fun. Totally up to you. I'm just going to stay on the path here. And I'm going to paint it solid blue. I'm kind of rounding the edges out at the bottom. Flat at the bottom, right? And as many vertical strokes as I can. Nice and long. If your paint's sticky, of course, add a little bit of water as needed. The less water you use, the more opaque the colors will be. Alright, taking the tip of my brush, making sure my lines are pretty straight. And I'm painting sideways, y'all. So it's a little tricky for me. Just outline it and fill it in, just like that. Next, I'm going to change colors. So when we're changing colors, we always wipe our brush off first, and then we switch it around in the water. Because when we do that, it keeps the water fresher longer, okay? I switched it around. I'm wiping off my brush again. And then I'm going to mix up a little light brown to do the tabletop. So I got a little white and brown in my tray. Just like we mixed up blue. But now I'm making light brown. And I'm going to paint in the bottom. And then I'm going to go back with dark brown and put some highlights on it, okay? So it's kind of important that the line's pretty straight, because it's supposed to be a tabletop. Be careful around that blue. Maybe I should have painted the tabletop first so that the blue wouldn't drag in there. So be careful around that blue, or you might even want to wait for it to dry a little bit before you do it. So I'm mixing myself a little bit more light brown. And I'm painting it in there. And that's for the tabletop. Looking to see how it's showing up on camera there. Still a little light. Be careful around that blue vase. You don't want to drag that blue in there, but if you do, there are no mistakes, right? Making a little bit more brown because I didn't make enough. You can continue the brown on the sides if you want, or you can leave your sides blue. Up to you. Just as long as you have paint on there, okay? On the sides. Now, we just painted that light brown. I'm going to take some dark brown and I'm going to go over it. Makes it look like the wood's a little grainy. Yeah, because of my lighting, I want to pull this off the easel so you can see a little better. See? Like it though, like so, like so. Then we're going to move on to green. Wiping my brush off. swooshing it around in my water. And guess what? We're going to go into green. So I got my brush going right into green, not mixing yet any other colors. But we're going to do a light green and a dark green because it's no fun if you just have green leaves, right? So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to I'm going to paint in the spaces in between my flowers. Just going to paint them in just a little bit in between the flowers. And then make sure your vase is dry. If your vase is not dry, we're going to take our paper towel, or we're going to pick the canvas up and we're going to fan it a little bit. And if I have a blow dryer, we can blow it dry and go even faster through this process. But I want it to dry because I don't want to drag blue paint. But if I do, it's okay. Then we got to figure out where we want our leaves. So I want some leaves to come over the vase. So these are the only ones that are going to go downward. Just have some fun with it. Don't stress out. And then the rest, I'm going to take and see where I want to have some leaves, extending the green out and just kind of making little squiggly lines. Don't stress out about it, okay? Just make some squiggly lines. Okay? If you really want to make them look like leaves, you can play around with them a little bit. But I'd recommend just some squiggly lines for now. And if you see, I'm kind of applying some pressure and then kind of just letting it go kind of whimsically. And they're like going up. Have fun with that. Then I'm going to mix a little blue and green in my tray and get a darker color green. You can see what I'm doing there. My tray's pretty full. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right on top of that green, that bright green, and just create a little contrast with the leaves, with a dark green and a light green going on. Now I need to let this dry. So if you're like, she's going too fast, let it dry. Now we're going to let this dry, okay? So if I was going too fast, I'm sorry. But I'm almost done giving you instructions. How about that? So that's only 18 minutes. So you're going to have a long time to play around with the painting. I'm going to show you right now how to make one flower. That's it. And that's going to be almost the end of this tutorial. One flower. Okay? And I'm going to show you how to do some highlighting later. And you're going to be done with the painting. I told you it was an easy flower painting. So we've been mixing paints and mixing paints and mixing paints. We're mixing again. For the flowers, we're going to make a light pink. So we're going to take the magenta. And we're going to take a little bit of white paint. And we're going to mix them together and make us a light pink. So I just broke my other brush. So I have a whole different brush. If you're changing colors, wipe your brush off first. Rinse it around in the water. Make your light pink. I'm going to do one flower for you. Just one. I'm going to do this one in the middle. We want to make sure this is dry, because if I don't make sure it's dry, I'm going to have green in my pink flower, and I don't want that. So you can fan it. Go get some coffee. Go get something to drink. Go use the bathroom. Pick up the canvas and fan it. But fan it first. Okay? Then this is how you make the flower. You can start by just making a circle. And you can paint right over the green, because if it's dry, it's not going to give you a muddy mess. But if it's not dry, wait for it to dry, okay? So I'm doing the light pink first. light pink first, okay? Light pink. I'm just going to do a circle. And my green's not dry, but I'm going to work through this because I want you to really see how to make one flower. One flower. It's not a perfect circle. I don't want it to be. As a matter of fact, I might want it to be a little bumpy around the edges. So I'm going to make some humps in it. It's not a perfect circle. You could start off with a circle, and then I want you to make some little bumps around it. So much better if that green is dry, okay? That's the first fun brush strokes. The first fun part of making the carnation. I think they're carnations. They could be roses. I'm not really a flower girl. I like flowers, but I don't know flowers. All right, I'm going back into the dark pink. I'm now trading brushes. I'm using a detail brush, the pointy one. I'm kind of wiggling the bristles because sometimes they're a little stiff. Then I'm going to go into the magenta paint. No water on my brush, just right into it, okay? And I'm going to just randomly do some brush strokes around the edges and then coming in, just randomly. And it's so weird how it starts to look like a flower. So I got light pink, dark pink, and then the last step, I'm going to wipe my brush off, rinse it around in the water, go into white paint, and do the same thing until I like it. You're going to work your way around the flower with white until you like it, and then you're going to repeat the process on the other flowers. Easy peasy, right? Well, I have a little white on my brush. I'm also going to do a little reflection point in the vase. And then there's some fun reflections going down in the wood there. That does not look like much of nothing. But as you keep working around the painting, it's going to look beautiful. The painting that you see in class, or if you're painting with me in person, you'll see this painting complete, or I might still be working on it, who knows. That's all you do. You're going to repeat that 1, 2, 3, I think there's 6 more to do. A little black outlining, and you're all done. And I hope that you're painting with me live, and I can help you along if you need some help. If I'm not with you, just watch the video again. You'll get it. This is Angelique. I want to see your paintings, so send them to me if you're watching me on YouTube. And if you're painting with me in person, enjoy the music, enjoy the vibe. Don't stress out. Just keep doing your flowers one at a time. And as they dry, go back to them and add little details, okay? Thank you, everybody. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having fun. I want to see your flowers. Bye-bye.